Hello everyone, I'm so glad you've joined us today. We have a wonderful guest. This is Wendy Jennings, the Coddiwomple Lady. How are you?
I'm very well, thank you, Victoria. All good. Beautiful sunny day. Yeah, all good.
Good.
All good.
And we're looking forward to you explaining what a Coddiwomple is. And that's going to be fun.
This is going to be fun.
Yes, it will be fun. I'd like you to explain a little bit about this marvellous book that you've written with a strange name and a very interesting topic that relates to everybody. So I'm wondering if you could just tell us a little bit about your background first. Oh, there's the book. Can you hold it still for us, Jenny? Wendy, can you just hold
it? Would it be
Coddiwomple?
Coddiwomple, yeah, Coddiwomple. The book itself is actually called From Cancer to Coddiwomple, and it's a story of love, loss, and daring to dream. And it came about. I've always journaled. I've always kept a diary on and off since I was teenage years, something like that. Or if I wasn't writing, I was always doodling or whatever. Anyway, I've always been doing something like that. But I never ever believed or never dreamt that I would ever write a book. But what happened to me was back in 2012, my parents contracted, for want of a better word, cancer, both together. Mum contracted ovarian cancer and Dad contracted esophagus cancer within months of each other, weeks of each other. And the whole journey with them, it was very, very quick. The whole journey was over within 9 months from their diagnosis to when they left this world. Now, I'm an only child. It's funny saying an only child when you're 53, but that's what I am. And so it was like a complete life change. It was like the blanket was pulled away from under my feet. So writing and journaling was very much of a brain dump for me at that point, during that point in time. And then after they died in 2012, I had to work out what I wanted to do with the rest of my life. Because it'd always been the Three Musketeers, really. We'd always been the three. Yeah, we were very close. I had a great relationship with my parents, and I needed to sort of work out what was Wendy going to do next. And the first Christmas after they died, I went to spend that first Christmas in Australia with some friends and family, and basically reconnected with Australia. I'd been before, but I went over there again, and I didn't keep a blog as such of that. I just kept sort of, again, diary notes, and that got stashed away and didn't think anything of that. And then as time wore on, I thought, I need to find something else I wanted to do. I was also a massage therapist at the time, but I'm hypermobile, bendy Wendy as well, not just the Coddiwomple Lady. And I had to stop that because my joints were becoming a bit creaky and hurt, and my back hurt and all that sort of stuff. And I thought, oh goodness me, now what am I going to do? So I then found, you get those lovely pictures on the internet with those beautiful sayings and things, and I found one, and it said, "Dear universe, show me the way forwards in a way I clearly understand, and give me the courage and the willingness to see it through." I thought, oh, I like that. And at the time, I was also reading a book that one of Mum's hospice nurses gave me called Eat, Pray, Love. Everybody knows Eat, Pray, Love, don't we? Yeah, I think everybody knows Eat, Pray, Love by Elizabeth Gilbert. Same sort of situation. She was a bit lost, a bit stuck. She went travelling. And after I found this picture on the internet and pinned it up on my fridge, and that night went to bed, woke up at 3 o'clock in the morning. This was about 2014 at the time, with this thing of, when you need to go back to Australia. And to be honest, I thought, holy poo. Well, actually, I didn't think holy poo. I thought holy something else. And thought, couldn't I go somewhere a bit closer to home? Something a bit easier, maybe. How's this going to work? But I just felt this feeling grow inside of my core, if you like, in my heart. And the more I thought about it, the more I couldn't stop smiling. And I thought, well, this is obviously something going to happen here. So I contacted my cousins in Melbourne, and I've got a school friend in Brisbane, and the other friends in Brisbane that I had stayed with, but they flipped backwards and forwards to the UK. And I said, I've got this idea of going for a year. renting my house out, and it was mum and dad's house that I lived in, and going for a year, but I need a base, and do you fancy being part of an adventure with me? And they said, oh my God, Wendy, that would be amazing. Yeah, do it. And I thought, oh, okay, I've got a purpose. I've got something to aim for, because by then I had to work out when I was going to do it. And because I read Eat, Pray, Love, I also developed quite a fixation about going to Bali. And I thought, oh, well, I can do a stop up in Bali on my way to Australia, but I don't want to go on my own because I don't know anybody in Bali. What do I do? And I started Googling, and I found this wonderful, wonderful retreat. And it wasn't one that made me run stupid amounts of miles at 6 o'clock in the morning or gave me colonic irrigation at 5 o'clock in the morning. I didn't want any of that. I just wanted some TLC. And I found, and then I researched that and hit the dates that was available. And the best time that I could go was November 2015. And I thought, great, because that then gives me a year and a bit to sort out the house and get it properly decluttered and ready to rent. So that was the focus. And that, again, I carried on journaling, and I kept little updates going on Facebook and this, that and the other, just like you do when you're on Facebook. And it came to the point in 2015, and by then I'd also met my partner, Tim. Typical bad timing.
Yeah.
Divine timing, whichever way you want to look at it. And realised at that point quite quickly, I met him, we got together in the January 2015. We realised quite quickly that it's quite a significant relationship. So I was thinking, oh God, now what do I do? But we said, well, if I don't go, I'm going to regret it, and then I probably resent him anyway. So we made the decision that I was going to go. But then I thought, well, I don't want to go for it. I don't need to go for a year. What I want to do, I had a bucket list, Uluru and other things I wanted to do. So I condensed that down to 6 months. So I thought, perfect, I can do that in 6 months. So yeah, all systems go, clearing the house, decluttering mum and dad's stuff, which was very cathartic and very strange. Letting go of things like it has been part of me since I was obviously a baby, but needed to let go of. They were things, really. They weren't the memories, they weren't it was just stuff. So once I started that, that was quite I got into the flow of that began to flow quite quickly. I mean, yes, I've still got some things now that they're special ornaments and things, but they're wrapped up, they're safe in a box in a cupboard, and they're fine. So then I did that, and November 2015 came along, and 21st of November 2015 came along, and I woke up and thought, oh my God, I'm going to Bali. Oh my goodness me, what am I doing?
Wonderful.
Hopped on a plane. She said, well, not literally hopped, but it was quite went off up to Heathrow and went off to Bali. And when I was actually at Heathrow, sitting on the plane to get to the stopover in Singapore, I was ready to come home at Singapore. I thought, I can't do this, I can't leave Tim, I can't do this. And then I gave myself a strict talking to and said, don't be so stupid, put on your big girl's pants. You put so much energy into planning this, you've got to just do it. So
can I just interrupt you there? But isn't that something so common, especially for women, because we do tend to give up our dreams, don't we? And it's very easy sometimes if we're finding it difficult to think, oh well, I can't leave him, I've just met someone, I'm feeling a bit insecure and I'm a bit scared, and the safest route is to go back to your comfort zone. But a lot of women do that, don't they?
I think we do. I think it's something that we all do, don't we? But I think if you can, as I say, pull on your big girl's pants and breathe your way through it, the feeling afterwards is just like, oh, well, I'm so glad I did that. Because I am so glad I did that. And the retreat in Bali exceeded my expectations. It was, oh God, I can't describe it. It was just absolutely phenomenal. It worked on mind, body and soul. No, there was no horrible jogs up the beach at 5 o'clock in the morning. Mitch, the guy that ran it, he was so chill back Aussie. He was amazing, and he had a fabulous team of therapists around him. I experienced kinesiology, coaching, tai chi, yoga, Balinese healer, massage, and that's when Reiki came into my life as well. I had my first Reiki treatment and got hooked on that. So that's another story. So then came back, went to Bali, to Melbourne, connected with my family, and had this trip planned, had an amazing trip planned. I went to Queensland. I went to Ayers Rock and slept under the stars in a swag, which is a massive, great big sleeping bag. Tim came out and met me, and we travelled around Tasmania in a camper van, which we nicknamed the Wallowing Pig, because that had to be tightened down from what we really called it, which was a wallowing sack of something else. But we became very fond of it, and we called her the Wallowing Pig. And that was fabulous. He came out for about 10 days, and that was in about this time of year, actually, beginning of February. And then I went to Adelaide with my cousins, and I just had a wonderful, wonderful time. And I also, as I say, connected with Reiki, and I found a Reiki school, whatever we want to call it, near where my cousins lived, where I was based in Melbourne. And I did my Reiki 1, which is the first level of Reiki training, and became totally hooked on that, and knew that when I came home I would want to continue with that Reiki journey. But all the time I was there, I was carried on writing, and I kept like a proper blog. I set up one of those freebie WordPress ones. I think I called it with what Wendy did next or something like that. And it was purely for friends and family back home here, and because otherwise you just repeat yourselves all the time. It's just, no, I wanted something to keep for me as well. So I kept a beautiful journal, and then did the blogs. But then I came home in, oh goodness, April 2016. As I say, I cut the trip short to 6 months. I'd done everything I wanted to do, and I was ready to come home. And I got home and didn't honestly believe I would do anything with it. I was home, and I knew I wanted to do more with the healing and the Reiki, and that's the journey I thought I was going to go on. But then people that had read my blogs and whatever, because it got, you know what it's like, people share things, don't they? I was a few people said, oh, what are you going to do with your blogs then? I went, nothing. Why would I want to do with them then? And they said, no, your story is such an inspirational story. You should really think about putting this in a book, because it could help other people that are struggling with grief. And I thought, really? Me? Don't be so silly. But then it started to fester a little bit, and I thought, well, if it can help one person, I'll have a go. And then I thought, well, if it can also help raise awareness of ovarian cancer, because that's a little known, a less well-known cancer, that's good too. And then I thought, well, it's a bit, I don't feel too comfortable with making a profit out of something so horrible for me. And I thought, so what do I do with that then? And then so I thought, well, no, what I'll do is I'll use the proceeds from the book to go to help the hospice in Sussex, because we lived down near Worthing at the time, to help to support the hospice. And by the time I'd got my why sorted out of why I was going to do this, I thought, right, I can do this. And then I started cobbling the blogs together, and it was all coming together, and I had a draft. And then I thought, well, what am I going to call it? And then when I was fiddling around with that, my friend in Brisbane, my school friend Paula, again, she sent me something on Facebook with this word Coddiwomple on it. And she said, Wendy, this is just so you. Okay, because what it means, Coddiwomple means,
we're all waiting to find out what it means.
Coddiwomple means to travel in a purposeful direction towards a vague destination. And even that again. Say it again. Yeah, it means it's an old English. It's meant to be an old English slang verb. I don't know how true that is, but what the meaning is to travel in a purposeful direction towards a vague destination.
Vague.
Isn't that just? It's just. Even, oh, now it just gives me the shivers. It just gives me goosebumps.
Yeah.
And I thought, oh, okay. Well, if I write a book, it's got to have that in the title somewhere. Coddiwomple through life, whatever. And we cobbled it all together. Well, I cobbled it all together and got it into a draft section. And And then I needed help with editing. I didn't know how to edit it, and I didn't know how to publish it. And by this time, I moved back. I was living back in Kent, in Hawkhurst, and I was on the networking scene promoting my Reiki practice. And I just jokingly said, "Does anybody know anything about book editing?" And I think it might have been yourself, or yeah, I think it might have been yourself. There's a couple of people said to me, "You need to talk to this lady called Sharon Lynn." And I thought, oh, okay, whatever, fine. So I contacted this lovely lady called Sharon, and who's totally got what I was trying to do. She totally understood what I was trying to do. And between us, we edited my ramblings into something that made more sense and was more connected, more not concise is probably the word I'm looking for. And then we thought, well, what else can we do that would help other people to not just connect with the book, but that would help other people move forward if they're stuck, if they're can't, stuck with this grief thing. So what I did then was I approached other healers, and I created a directory in the back of the book. It's called, what did I call it? I think I just put it, what do we do now, or something. Well, further information and support, that's it. And there's a list in the back there of supporters, yeah, of charities, things like Dying Matters, and what else have we got? Hospice UK, Reiki therapists, Pilates teachers, nutritionists, and and yourself. So yeah, there's a lovely little directory at the back. And then I managed to, that took about 2.5 years, and then I published it in 2019. And I published it myself.
Wendy.
It did take a long time. Yeah, I had more than a few drafts, and then I wanted to work out the cover. I didn't know what cover. I knew I wanted Mum and Dad on the cover.
Yeah.
But I knew what colours I wanted, because blue is a very special colour to me. And then I couldn't find a picture of me. Trying to find a picture of yourself. And then Sharon's business partner, Lorenzo, I sent them this photograph of Mum and Dad, and they created something, and that's a photograph I took of Uluru.
Yes.
And he created this beautiful picture. It's just, it's amazing. I've actually got it on poster size as well.
Have you?
Yeah, I love it. And so then I thought, well, how am I going to publish it? And I thought, well, I could have spent years trying to find a publisher.
I
wanted to get it out there. Yeah, absolutely. And I thought, no, I want to get it out there. I want it to be earning money for the hospice and helping people with cancer and things like that.
Yeah. So
after long conversations with Sharon, I thought, bite the bullet, and published it myself. So I became Coddiwomple Publishing. Yes. Yeah. It's a big step in itself, isn't it? Yeah, that was a thing. I thought, oh, I'm a publisher. But once I saw it, when I first saw this, oh goodness, that feeling of, that's now a legacy to my mum and dad. Yes, yes. Because I don't have kids. I didn't go down the having kids route. So that they, once we've gone, that we've gone. But this now, actually in the front there, I actually put through this book. This book is dedicated to mum and dad, forever loved, forever missed, and forever in my heart. Through this book, you will live on. So that is their book. That is their grandchild, basically. Oh, that's a lovely way of putting it. Yeah. And I think we do birth books, don't we? We bring them into being, we create them. Definitely. And it's quite a thick book. It's not a huge book, but it's a substantial book. It's a good read. It's a substantial tome. Yeah. And there's a lot of hope and a lot of inspiration, isn't there? Definitely. Yeah. I mean, it starts off in the beginning of my life with my mum and dad, when I grew up around motor racing and things like that. So it covers various different types of topics, everything from motor racing to healing to Australia. So yeah, it is a real journey. It is a proper Coddiwomple, because I did not know where it's going to end up. I had no idea what journey I knew I was going forwards, but I had no way of knowing where it would take me.
So
but where it did,
you had a lot of faith, didn't you? Even though you'd come through all this trauma and the lostness of being alone, being an orphan at a mature age, but nevertheless.
Yeah. My dad said to me before they died, he said, "You do realise at the end of this year I'm going to be an orphan?" I said, "Oh, for goodness sake, Dad, I'm 43."
Yeah. But it's you have produced something that's worthwhile and valuable, not just to the hospice and those that receive financial benefit from it, but the inspirational aspect of it is amazing.
I hope so.
Yeah, and obviously, if anybody just wants to travel to Australia and wonder what it's like and what you'd get
it's like,
from it.
This will tell you. Yeah, this will tell you.
So, what has that left you with now? What does that left you with now? Are you still needing to go on another Coddiwomple, or do you feel settled? Okay, so what do you feel is your next step?
Yeah, well, after that, I felt, well, I don't need. I'd got the wanderlust out of my mind. The traveling. You don't actually. What I learned as you do is what happens when, because what's also happened is through people reading the book, I obviously readers contacted me and they just support. So that took me into life coaching. So it's started something else. It started another Coddiwomple